Hi guys, Modern Muppet here, how you doing? And good morning to you. It may not be morning when you're watching this, but it's morning to me now. And it's cold, man, it's cold. Anyway, been reading in the news, as I tend to do when I start my day off. And in the news this week, there was an incident of a witch being burned to death in Papua New Guinea. And for some reason, it's been bubbling away at the back of my consciousness. You know, irritating me like a sore tooth. Just gotta keep prodding it. You know what it's like, don't you? Just a thought bouncing around your head and you can't shake it out even though you don't know why. And I think what's bugging me is the lack of religious response that is saying, yeah, a witch has been killed, rejoice! Justification for the killing of witches, of course, comes from the Bible. It comes from a very important part of the Bible written by Moses, in which the foundations for a covenant between God and man are laid down. And this is important. The words, "suffer ye not a witch to live," aren't thrown in by some barely mentioned bystander. They're written by the one man who, according to the Bible, had direct contact with God. Moses is central to every Abrahamic religion, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Moses is the dude that gave us the 10 Commandments and sets down how we should live our lives. So, what is witchcraft? And is it a third world simple people type of belief? Now, according to a Gallup poll, 20% of North Americans believe in witchcraft. So remarks about witchcraft being a belief of simple people is kind of actually a racism, in my opinion. And if it discredits the people who believe in it, we'd also have to discredit the American founders and all westernized cultural and religious foundations. Right? So we can kind of throw all them sort of, yeah, it's just third world nonsense. We can throw all that out the window. Now, I looked at several religious sites. I'm not going to specify, because if I do, you can guarantee that someone will say, but that's not how my church views it. And I'm going to come to that in a minute. Yeah, I will come to that. But basically, a witch has the powers of divination, or speaking with the dead, of manipulation of the accepted physical rules of the universe, commonly called supernatural powers. A witch is the ability to force someone to act against their will, to fall in love when they didn't choose to, or to make other people or animals ill by magic. Now, the problem with witchcraft in the Bible is it takes it all seriously. Nowhere does it say, guys, let the old bitch live. It's all a load of bollocks and she can't actually make your cattle ill by looking at them funny. No, it takes it as this is something that is real. This is something that happens. And the punishment for practicing witchcraft is death. So, why the fuck isn't the Pope throwing a party? Why aren't televangelists using this to leverage more money out of their flock? And why isn't the Queen, as the head of the Church of England, yelling, "Die, you motherfucking bitch of a whore"? Why can't we go back to the good old days of throwing women in the pond? And if they drown, they're innocent, and if they float, we throw them on the fire after having a quick look at their tits in a soaking wet blouse. Maybe it's because, while witchcraft and the supernatural can make great and entertaining movies, we shouldn't actually live our lives as if this cooped up fuckery has any basis in reality. And there we have a reason for the silence from the church. They'd rather we forget that when they were in power, cooped up fuckery is exactly how laws were made. The church needs to remain silent, because if we start to think, hang on, Moses was wrong about witchcraft. Maybe he was wrong about setting rules for slavery too. Maybe he was wrong to tell us to stone to death unruly children, to advocate and command genocide. Maybe he was wrong in what he said about homosexuality. Maybe he was wrong with his misogynistic views, declaring women as belongings. Maybe he was wrong about the whole fucking lot. And for the last 2,000 years, mankind has lived its life based on cooped up fuckery. And maybe it's time to discard the whole fucking lot to the shit bin of history and find a new way of living that involves understanding and empathy of a fellow man, instead of the bile of hatred that this Stone Age, antiquated, archaic, ill-conceived, puerile, moronic, half-baked ramblings have led to. What do you think, guys? As always, I look forward to your comments. Feel free to post disagreement. I know that there are some Christians who do watch my stuff, and that's great. You know, if you've got a different opinion on this, throw it down. If you feel strongly enough about it to make a video response, do so. I'll gladly accept it and link it in. Take it easy, guys. This is Muppet out. Bye.